game is brought to you by the Alaska Highway Safety Office, reminding you that excuses are not cheap. A DUI also isn't. The average cost of a DUI in Alaska is $23,000. Don't drive impaired. Arrive alive. This message brought to you by the Alaska Highway Safety Office. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. If you'll please help me welcome the starting lineup for the visiting Peninsula Oilers. Leading off, a redshirt freshman third baseman from the University of Central Missouri, number 14, Cole Moore. Batting second, a sophomore shortstop from Seattle University, number 24, Trevor Antonsen. Batting third, a redshirt freshman second baseman from the University of Southern California, number 7, John Olmstead. Batting cleanup, a redshirt freshman left fielder from the University of Central Missouri, number 18, Garrett Pennington. Batting fifth, a redshirt sophomore center fielder from Kansas University, number 9, Dylan Dinsenberger. Batting sixth, a junior designated hitter from Pfeiffer University, number 21, Bryce Marsh. Batting seventh, a redshirt freshman catcher from the University of Southern California, number 10, Taylor Johnson. Batting eighth, a redshirt freshman right fielder from the University of Southern California, number 22, Andrew Soika. Batting ninth, a sophomore first baseman from Bucknell University, number 6, Henry Navicki. On the mound for the Oilers, a 5'11" junior right-hander out of George Mason, number 3, Mason Posey. The Oilers enter play this evening 5-14, last of the Alaska Baseball League standings.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
And now, please help me welcome the starters for your Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks. Leading off, a junior center fielder from the Masters University, number 10, Will Bass. Batting second, a sophomore shortstop for the University of Alabama, Birmingham, number 15, John Mark Mullins. Batting third, a junior designated hitter from Gardner-Webb, number 8, Joe Brazil. Batting cleanup, a senior left fielder from Northwest Nazarene, number 12, Hayden Keller. Batting fifth, a redshirt freshman first baseman making his return to the field out of UC Irvine, number 35, Josh Scheck. Batting sixth, the sophomore third baseman for the University of Alabama, Birmingham, number 7, Pates Fullerton. Batting seventh, a freshman right fielder from Doane University and Chugiak, Alaska native, number 9, Justin Nevels. Batting eighth, a redshirt freshman catcher from Northwood University, number 17, Matt Magno. Batting ninth, a freshman second baseman from Stephen F. Austin, number 20, Cal Campbell. And on the mound for the Chinooks, a 6'6" freshman right-hander from Biola University, number 50, Carson Cody. The Chinooks enter play this evening 10-10, third in the Alaska Baseball League standings. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if you'll please rise and remove your head cover for the presentation of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave
Our umpires this evening behind the plate, former NBA backup Brian Scalabrine. At first base, member of the 1992 Dream Team and NBA Hall of Famer John Stockton. And at third base this evening, fresh off of a 4-2 sweep win for the Milwaukee Bucks, Chris Middleton. Now fans, at this time we have a very special message, the famous 2 words before the start of every ball game.
Really?
Casey, we have 2 celebrity kids here today. They're from old Chugiak families. As I know, I went to elementary school with their grandmother, so they at least 4th generation Birchwood folks. First, we have Harper, who's 5 years old and is going to be starting kindergarten at Birchwood Christian School, and her little sister Piper, who is 3 years old, and they're going to give us a special message to get things started and get the Chinooks off to a win, right?
Over here, folks. You hold it and wait for your sister. And wait towards your parents. Right. Together.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So play ball.
5.
Loud. Say club.
1, 2,
Play ball.
play ball.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Lee Jordan Field here in beautiful Chugiak, Alaska for tonight's matchup between the the Kenai Peninsula Oilers. I've been so used to playing the Pilots, I almost went into autopilot there, so we're going to start that again. The Peninsula Oilers and your Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks. So before we get started tonight, I'd like to take just a few moments and go over the defense and lineups for the Chinooks tonight. Will Batts in center field will be leading off. John Mark Mullins, the shortstop, will be batting second. Joe Brazil in the 3-hole tonight. He will be the designated hitter. Hayden Keller out in left field will be batting fourth. Josh Scheck back in the lineup, coming back from his knee injury, will be batting fifth and playing first base. Pate Fullerton at third base, batting sixth. Justin Nevels in right field today, batting seventh. Matt Magno behind the plate tonight will be batting eighth. And Cal Campbell at the Keystone, batting ninth. Pitching for the Chinooks tonight will be Carson Cody. Looking to bounce back from a rough outing last time, although certainly didn't do too poorly. But the outing before that, 8 shutout for Carson Cody, so we'll certainly look to repeat that effort here tonight. So we have a cavalcade of interviews for you tonight, and the first of which has joined me in the booth right now as Eric Nelson, the executive manager? I don't exactly remember. Obviously, we're kind of a little
Vice
bit.
President.
Vice President. Okay, so the Vice President of Athletes in Action and all of our bosses. So let's hope that I do a good enough job tonight. So, sir, welcome to the booth. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
Well, it couldn't be better with a venue like this, right?
Absolutely.
And guys that we get to be with, right?
Absolutely. And the first pitch of the game tonight is downstairs for ball one. So, sir, I guess my first question for you is how in the world did you get involved in Athletes in Action to the point where you are now so high up in the ranks that pretty much, you kind of call the shots, at least around here. So certainly give us a little bit of that story for us.
We have great people that work for us, around 700 staff in the U.S., and I was a coach and athletic director for 17 years in Texas before this, but just like many of our staff, like Chris Beck, who provides leadership for this team, and many of our other staff, they have felt the call to use sports as a way to engage people in their faith journey. So we joined 18 years ago, and just like most nonprofits, if you're willing to work and own a few things, then they'll give you more. So.
Right. Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, so I'm trying to think of how to phrase this question exactly, as that one is hit out into left field, and Hayden Keller will drift over and make the catch for the first out of the inning. So Cole Moore, the third baseman for the Oilers, is retired for the first out of the inning. And as always, or I should say at least as usual, we will go over the Oiler lineup and defense in the bottom half of this inning. So anyways, the question that I wanted to ask is specifically the Chinooks. So do you is this kind of the only team that you are kind of the overseer of, or do you have a good plethora of teams that you also oversee on top of?
That's a great question. In a non-COVID year, pre-COVID, we would have nearly 40 projects that would be domestic and international. So teams that would go compete internationally. Actually, baseball is the only U.S.-based team competing, but we have a number of other projects in the U.S. It just happens that college baseball works that way, and but we would send on average 25 to 30 teams internationally with addition of other projects. So we've got a team right there at our home base in Ohio, and then one in New York, and a team in basketball team in Macedonia today, soccer team in Albania, and a baseball team in Chugiak, Alaska.
There you go. Wonderful. So, speaking of Alaska, obviously you mentioned a little bit that you were a athletic director and coach in Texas. So how does a Texas guy wind up here overseeing a team in Alaska? I mean, that just seems like such a crazy leap. Did you have any prior connections to the state of Alaska beforehand, or is it just kind of what you happened to be assigned?
Well, I work with Chris Beck, and part of my role is to support our good leaders, and he's one of them, in what they're doing. And so in any way I can just come support his team, get some time with them, and meet a need in the process. I mean, all of us are really here for the same reason. We want to be involved in people's lives. So I'm here to be involved in people's lives just like he is. And so I get to choose where I go in the summer, and this is a great place to be. So.
Absolutely. So I assume, obviously, since the Chinooks have been here in Chugiak, I believe since 2010 or 2012?
Yeah, it seems like it's around there, yeah.
Something like that. So obviously I'm sure that this is not the first time that you have been here. So what have you been able to take away from this specific trip with this specific team that you haven't been able to take away in the past?
Great question. I'd just say, first of all, just the people in Chugiak and the way they support this club, and the way they just the professionalism and excellence that they go about just hosting players, the team, and games is really special. So it's not always the case. This team, you know what, we have a lot of, like I said, we have a number of projects every year, and you don't really know what you're going to get. But these guys love each other. I mean, they really like being around each other. They're fun. They're engaging. They engage in deep and meaningful ways around our discipleship times. And
And a beautiful hit and run there by the Oilers, specifically Garrett Pennington. So absolutely perfect execution there. And so there will be runners on the corners here with 2 outs. Sorry, sir. Please.
That's okay. I've just enjoyed being a part of what's already good that's going on here, and it's every team's different, every project's different. This one is unique, and they're just really a great group to be around. Like, there's nobody that is a problem. So,
right.
Which is not always the case.
Not even me.
No,
good. Okay.
Not even. Well,
phew. All right, good. Sometimes I get worried, you know. So, well, that's awesome. Certainly, yeah. That's one thing that I've talked to a few of the guys about is, you know, because obviously we have a few returners here that have been here for 2-3 years, and they've all echoed that sentiment where this team just seems to bond right away and really has come together in a little bit quicker of a fashion than perhaps other teams have. So certainly
And they serve well.
Yeah.
They're really others focused, and they serve people who jump in and help wherever they can. And they're here for. They know why they're here. They understand what they're doing here. They want to play good baseball. They're here to learn, grow, and compete. But they're also here to grow as men. And they're embracing all of it.
Certainly. So another question that I've kind of asked a lot of the guys, and I think it actually work for you as well, is kind of what their mentality is on an off day. Because you kind of have been, everything that we've been doing. I mean, you've been there ever since you've been here. Discipleship.
Yeah.
You'll come to the games, eat with us afterwards. So it's kind of been the same schedule. So what do you do when the Chinooks are not playing? Are you kind of like a guy that likes to go out on hikes, go explore? Are you just kind of I'm going to lay in my bed kind of guy and just work on some
I feel
work
guilty
or whatever? You feel guilty?
Bed. I have work to do, but I'm thinking I'm in Alaska. Come on.
Right.
So Thunderbird Falls.
Oh, there you go.
I've hiked that a couple times.
And that is going to drop for a base hit and a couple of bloop hits and a perfect hit and run. So the Oilers small balling their way into a run here, as they will take an early 1-0 lead.
Went to hike the Butte today. Love to go fish for a few hours before I leave. We'll see if that happens. But I fished here 20 years ago, and it was an amazing experience. So maybe we'll get to. But
there you go.
It's a playground. It's an outdoor playground, isn't it?
So Cody running into a little bit of trouble here after getting 2 quick outs. And certainly not pitching poorly, as 2 of the hits were kind of just jam shot, bloop hits. So certainly a little bit of bad luck. And at this point for the Chinooks, you have to start to wonder, what's going to be able to turn this thing around. They're losers of 4 straight, 5 of their last 6. And it just seems like these things have happened more and more often over the last few days. So, those on the stream obviously, probably don't know this, but obviously we all know that you're a basketball guy. So, what has the journey that you have taken through the sport of basketball, what has that taught you that you're able to kind of pour into these young men here for baseball players?
Yep. They're baseball guys and basketball guys are different for sure, but they got a lot of the same things. They've got a lot of the same needs as people. When you're an athlete, you're both at times admired by people and at times despised, because there's this expectation sometimes of that they would do more. At times there's an entitlement that has to be broken from people, and people don't like it. So that's not the case with these guys, but I would just say in the world of sport, there's a great vacuum for being able to help guys not be owned by their sport and their performance, and where they become kind of a slave. Their identity becomes formed by how they compete, and so that's the similarities with most athletes, and I'd say it transfers to baseball guys. It does basketball guys. Baseball guys are more cerebral. I'll say that.
Right.
They think more. They got more time to think. Basketball guys, they're on the move, man. It's so
absolutely.
So they've got some deeper thoughts than basketball guys.
For sure. Well, I mean, deeper thoughts. I don't know. I met some baseball players that I wasn't sure if they were even capable of having deeper thoughts. But I do.
Yeah.
I'm sure the guys would appreciate hearing that. You know.
Well, at least these guys do. I'll say that.
Certainly yes. These guys.
No, you're right.
These guys for sure.
Every sport has its share.
So, on the topic of basketball, obviously you talked a lot in the last few days about and you kind of just went into it a little bit of like not letting the sport consume you, not letting it be your entire life. Is the reason why you're so passionate about that specific topic, and the reason why you kind of really hinder on that is because that kind of was your story when you played and coached?
In large part, it was, and I think people want to help people out of their background, their experience, and their scars. So because it was much of mine, it's my goal and purpose to help coaches and athletes do the same.
All right, that makes sense. All right, so, sir, I'm not sure what your schedule is, but do you think you have another half inning or so to hang
You
out?
bet. Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, so then we will come back in the bottom of the first with the Chinooks trailing 1-0, and we will have just a little bit more from Eric Nelson.
Leading off the bottom of the first for your Chinooks, a junior center fielder from the Masters University, number 10, Will Batts.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube, and we get serenaded by a Kenny G solo, which means that Will Batts will step up to the plate here to lead things off for the Chinooks. But quickly, before we continue our interview with Eric Nelson, Vice President of AIA, I would like to quickly go over the defense and lineup for the Oilers tonight. So Cole Moore, the third baseman, leads off for the Oilers. Trevor Antonsen, the shortstop, bats second. John Olmstead, the second baseman, batting third. Garrett Pennington in left field, batting cleanup. Dylan Ditzenberger will be batting fifth and playing center field. Bryce Marsh, the designated hitter, batting sixth. Taylor Johnson, the catcher, batting seventh. Andrew Soika, the right fielder, will be batting eighth. And Henry Nowicki at first base will be batting ninth. And Mason Posey will be the starter for the Oilers tonight. All right, and as I stated, we are still joined by Eric Nelson, the Vice President of Athletes and Action. And again, as I said earlier, all of our bosses. So please be on your best behavior in the comment section.
Yeah,
So
I'm taking notes right now. I've got mental notes.
there you go.
Uh-huh. Since all of you guys raised your own support to come on this thing anyway, we can't really doctor
Fair enough. So swing and a miss. So Will Batts will go down swinging for the first out of the inning.
The sophomore shortstop from the University of Alabama, Birmingham, number 15.
All right, so obviously we kind of had to keep the answer to the last question a little bit short since the inning was ending. But take me through what your journey was as a basketball player before you ended up transferring into coaching and into your athletic director, and then obviously to where you are now.
You bet. But before I do that, though, here's a funny story about John Mark.
Okay.
I used to do camps with the basketball coach at his high school, and he played basketball, I think, through his freshman or sophomore year. And so I texted him a picture. The coach, a picture. Once I met John Mark here, I said, "Hey, look who I found in Alaska." And he texted me back next morning, "I love that guy. Wish he would have played all 4 years for me."
Yeah.
He gave up on it too quick. He must have been at a big school and too hard to play too many
Right.
sports. Yeah, I was a basketball dude and played in Texas. Went to a junior college for a year, and then was so fast and could jump so high. I went to Texas Tech and did not finish playing there. I started playing there, and I left. I walked on and walked off.
Oh, boy.
All in 1 year. So I end up getting a mathematics degree, and I missed the game so much. I said I want to coach. So
Yeah.
I got in coaching. Yeah.
That makes sense.
So I coached in Austin and Dallas and Houston for four different high schools. And one of the players asked me the other day, so who was the best guy you ever coached against? And I would have to say it was a high school game against Shaquille O'Neal when he was still 6'10" and 270 or 260, whatever it was. But 7 dunks on you at a high school team, and you thought this guy could be in the NBA right now.
For sure. Yeah, I'd say whenever you face Shaq, it's probably the best player you've ever faced.
That's right.
I don't know too many players that have ever lived that are better than Shaquille O'Neal.
He was huge.
Certainly.
Yep.
All right, sir. Well, I do have other interviews, as you can clearly see here, so I'm going to have to let you go. But is there anything you'd like to say to the folks at home before you head out?
Hey, thanks for jumping on and supporting the Chinooks. You're missing a great group of guys up here with us, and glad you're able to join us. You may be watching from Chugiak, so I'll give way to these two fellas. I'll let the JV game get out of the way and let the varsity game begin. All right, a lot of pressure here, boys.
All right, thank you so much for joining us, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube as Andrew Soika, the right fielder for the Oilers, will step up to the plate to lead things off against Carson Cody. He taps that one over to first.
Get over.
Josh Scheck heads to the bag himself for out number 1. But I am joined by two very handsome and very, very athletic gentlemen in the studio today. So we're getting a double interview for you guys here as we are joined by Leo Harris, who is obviously a returner for the interview, and a first-time interviewer getting, I think, his first day off other than the games that he was sick in, John Graham. So they have joined us here in the studio. Fellas, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. First off, just want to say it's glad to have Josh Scheck back out on the field, returning for injury. So it's good to see him back out there playing again today.
Me, I'm just living the dream. Thankful for Loves for giving me this opportunity. After so many days in the van together, I finally get some one-on-one time with Loves. Get to be in an interview.
There you go. Absolutely. I'm so happy to have you guys here. Certainly, you guys have both played very, very well in your respective avenues on the field, as we're going to have to fix our camera here, so just give us a second. Apologize for that. But anyways, so first question, I'm sorry, Leo, but I haven't interviewed John yet, so my first question is just going to be for John. So you just hang out here for a second. So, John, what have you been able to kind of learn and adapt from as time has gone on here in Alaska? Obviously, you came just a little bit late, and then you were sick for a little bit. So what have you been able to adapt to and learn from as time has gone on?
I think the biggest thing is just how damaging looking at stats can be. So this whole summer is the first time that I haven't looked at stats at all. I'm really just, because then it's easy to define yourself as a baseball player as a number. Oh man. And so it's just definitely freeing to know that without looking at stats each day, each at bat is just a new opportunity. So, I mean, haven't been playing great, I know, but at least I feel free, you know. Every at bat, I'm 0 for 0 and opening day mentality. So
that makes sense. Yes, certainly. I didn't think about that. Yeah, I mean, I was never the guy that really looked at stats, so I never. And plus, because I was never very good, so I don't think it would have done me much good. But anyway, all right. So now, question for both of you. I think both of you might have. I think you guys might actually have the two most polar opposite roles for this team that you could have, because John basically plays the same position or two positions every day. And Leo, you could show up to the ballpark and be a pitcher. You could be a third baseman. You could be at first. You could be in the outfield. You really have no idea what in the heck
big
you're
utility guy.
So, there you go, big utility guy for sure. So, what is? Give me like a pro for both of your roles, and then give me a con for both of your roles, if you could. Whichever one of you wants to go first.
I guess I'll go first.
Right.
I'd say a pro is, I mean, being a two-way guy. You know, I guess if you mess up in one spot, you know, you always have another spot. They put you in a different spot to make an impact and, you know, kind of correct the wrong that you did before in a different position. So a con, probably not being able to stay in the same spot, you know, for a long time, you know.
Right.
So, you know, you kind of got to learn every position, but, you know, it's fun.
I'd say for me, I'm just left field. Oh, no.
That one is hit very hard, but it looks like
Hayden.
Hayden Keller's going to check a track.
Yeah, you bet.
And make the catch.
Why not, Hayden?
All right, John, so go ahead and finish what you're
Yeah,
saying.
so,
Sorry about that.
I mean, I'm always either in left field or DH, and I love them both. You know, left field, you kind of just, you know, I don't know. Being in the outfield, it's always fun. I love shagging during BP, and just being in left field, I just enjoy outfield. You know, I know I'm either going to be left or DH. Both of them are, I don't want to say easy, but it's not. I just feel relaxed out there when I'm at those positions. Right. When I'm at first base, I mean, I don't know what I'm doing over there. So just being in left field, DH, I'm living the dream with those. So.
All right, and give me a con.
Oh, a con.
Yeah, give me a bad.
Sometimes when you DH, you go 0 for, and you can't make it up defensively. So you just go 0 for, 3 strikeouts, and a rollover, and you know you added absolutely nothing to the game. So at least if you're in left field, you can make a routine catch and know you did something. So.
That makes sense. All right, well, we will be right back as we're going to head to the bottom of the second with the Chinooks still trailing 1-0 with a little bit more from Leo Harris and John Graham. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube as Hayden Keller steps up to the plate to lead things off here for the Chinooks as they trail 1-0. And I am still joined in the studio by Leo Harris and John Graham. So certainly very excited to have you guys in the booth, and thank you guys once again for taking time to come on in here and join us.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Ooh.
Not a problem, as that one is fouled right back to
There's a
my
fence there,
face.
Big John. There's a fence, all right?
So, and I think Leo might have jumped a little bit there.
Yeah, I think Leo.
No, it was definitely Big John over here. Big John had a big jump here, not realizing there's a fence
Everybody-
protecting everyone. But, you know,
Everybody-
it's okay. It's okay. I'll take the blame.
Don't worry, it'll none of the people in the stream saw anything, so we could just pretend like everybody just kind of was ready to catch. So.
Yeah.
All right. So, John, again, the first question of this half inning is going to be for you since I haven't interviewed you.
All right.
What is your what's your mentality on an off day? Are you kind of a hiking guy? Are you a lay around and relax kind of guy? Where do you sit for that?
That's a great question, Lopes. I'd say You know, I've never been to Alaska before, but I don't anticipate this being my only time in Alaska.
Okay.
So, I like to go on hikes, but I don't want a hike that's too challenging, you know? Because I like to do the hike with my host family, spend some time with them, chat it up with the kiddos, and, you know, like, you want the focus to be on the talking and not the hiking. So, I mean, no matter what the hike is, you're seeing scenery. So, yeah, I like to hike, but easier hikes, chat it up a bit.
Well, I can tell you there's somebody in the studio here who doesn't like hikes.
And that is Big T Lopes.
Me.
That's right.
That's okay. And also maybe Leo.
I'll say I can join on that. Hikes, like I've said in one of my previous interviews, I have retired from hikes, and I still have not come out of retirement yet. So,
fantastic. All right, so I remember I asked one of the guys this. I think it was Cal. Yes, it was Cal in our last interview yesterday. So you kind of mentioned earlier, John, how sometimes you feel like this is a question for both of you, by the way, just to preface. So you kind of mentioned how sometimes you're DHing and you might go 0 for 4 and you feel like you don't add anything. So kind of on that topic, as Josh Sheck takes a walk, so 2 walks to open the inning for the Chinooks. And certainly everybody has their days where they kind of end up having games like that. So when those games happen, does that end up kind of changing your mentality for the next day, the next game? Does it kind of make you press a little bit more, or does that not really affect you guys at this point?
Well, I'll definitely say it can make you press a little bit, but at the same time, you got to remember this is a game, and baseball's hard as it is. Hitting is very hard, so you're going to fail at times. So you just got to wake up the next day, and it's a new day. Time to get back going again.
Yeah, I'd definitely say the same thing. It's really easy to. Oh no.
So Paige Fullerton can't execute the bunt attempt, so unfortunately that'll be the first out of the inning. Anyways, John, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd say it's really easy to start pressing. And obviously, I want to say that no, it doesn't ever affect me, but there are times when it definitely does. The next day, like, it's tough to get that out of your head that you went 0 for the day before. But I'd say most of the time, as long as you stick to your routine, you're able to let it go pretty quick. And so that's the power of routines, is knowing that, like, once the game ends, you can start fresh the next day and just get back after it.
Gotcha. So, Leo, obviously your situation is a little bit different than John's, so you might have a different answer for this question, because again, this one's for both of you. But on days like today when you're not in the lineup, does that kind of change how you look at the ball game that you guys are participating in? So, like, if you come to the ballpark and you're not in the lineup, does that get frustrating at all? Or is that just kind of like, hey, it's my role in the team, I just have to accept it? Or does that kind of eat away a little bit?
Of course, it's frustrating at times because we all want to be out there playing. But especially for me, being a two-way guy, there's also a chance that I can get on the mound tonight. So, you're thankful, just to be able to come out here and have the abilities to play this game. Still you have the opportunities to, put your talents out there and play in the game tonight. So.
Yeah, I mean, we all want to play, but it is, you can still be a big-time contributor just from watching the game and encouraging your teammates. And, yeah, you can always learn. And I know there's a good chance that if we're, like, late in the game, there's always a good chance for a pinch run opportunity or pinch hit opportunity. So just finding a way to stay locked in and be ready to help when my name is called. So
absolutely. So again, we've mentioned a few times now that you guys seemingly have, and that will be a double play. So, unfortunately, that will end the inning. I do really want to ask this question, but we're going to have to make it quick. I know you guys got to get going. So we talked a little bit about how you guys kind of have polar opposite roles. So here's not necessarily a hard question, but it might be a little bit of a brain racker here. Would you rather have a Leo-type role where you don't know if and where you're going to be in the game, Or would you rather have a John-type role where you're probably going to be in there, but you're going to be in the same spot every time, no matter what, and it doesn't change? Like, which one would you rather have for each of you?
You know, that's a great question.
Because there's pros and cons, certainly, to both. So,
man, I don't know. You can't really go wrong with either. Especially being a two-way guy. I mean, there's always an opportunity. And, you know, it's kind of whenever you come out here and you see, okay, hey, you might be at third base today. Hell, might be pitching today. So, you know, it's interesting to see. You know, kind of keeps you on your toes. You know, you got to be fresh at everything, ready to go, no matter what.
Okay.
I love my role. But I think Leo's role is more relatable to life, you know, just staying spontaneous, you know. I think, yeah, exactly. Stay ready so you don't gotta get ready. Yeah, so I love my role, but I think it is interesting to have some. It just teaches you more when you are only getting the inconsistent times, you know.
Absolutely. All right, fellas. Well, thank you so much for joining us here. I know you got to get going. So is there anything really quickly that you guys want to say to the stream before you head out?
Thank you guys for watching. We hope we can pull out a dub for you guys today.
Yeah, go Nooks.
All right. Thank you guys, and I hope to get you back in here soon, all right?
Yes, sir. Lopes, appreciate it,
yes,
brother.
Sir.
Aaron, always a pleasure.
All right, guys. All right. Well, that was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys agree that was a lot of fun. And certainly those guys are really, really great personalities, great guys. As John kind of alluded to earlier, he's one of the guys I drive around, and let me tell you, I think he might be the nicest human I've ever met. I mean, he's just a great guy, and I didn't even get to ask him about his marriage because I didn't want to really go into that with somebody else in here, but certainly we'll hope to get him back in here at some point, one-on-one, so we can go into some more stuff. So I guess we will forego our in-between inning break. And so we will step right in to the top of the third as that one is popped high in the air and foul out of play.
That foul ball brought to you by Bright Star Care.
All right, so John Olmstead leads things off for the Oilers here as they lead 1-0. And that pitch is in there for a called strike two. So the count moves to 2-2 on Olmstead. And it's very, very, it's not, it's not impossible or it's not, unheard of, I suppose. But you just very rarely see a second baseman batting third in a lineup. So certainly an interesting thing here. As the full count to him is ripped down the left field line. If it stays fair, it is off the wall. Just barely, by maybe a couple of feet away from a home run. And certainly Olmstead got a hold of that one. So that is his second hit of the day. And that one was an absolute rocket.
For the Oilers, left fielder number 18, Garrett Pennington.
And now Garrett Pennington will step up to the plate. He also singled in his first at-bat of the day. And he executed a really great hit and run in the top of the first. So we'll see what the plan is here, as certainly this is a good bunt situation, but with your four-hole batter, I'm not sure if that is in the cards here. And that one's outside. So the Peninsula Oilers come into this game today struggling, let's just say, as they currently sit at 5-14 on the season so far, but they have been playing better baseball as of late, despite the two losses coming into today. And that one's outside. Count moves to 2-0. The Chinooks, however, have certainly had their struggles over the last few weeks. They are losers of 4 straight, 5 out of their last 6. So certainly they have started to kind of free fall here and would love to use this game as a springboard to get back on track. But the Oilers obviously with different plans as they look to strike again here in the top of the 3rd as that one is way outside. So Cody falls behind 3-0. And the 3-0 pitch is swung on and drilled deep to left field. That has a chance, and it is gone. A 2-run home run for Garrett Pennington on a 3-0 pitch. And the Oilers now take a 3-0 lead. And certainly you wondered if he was going to have the green light, and he did, and he didn't miss it. And the Oilers now take a 3-0 lead. And, man, for the Chinooks, you kind of just have to sit there and wonder, man, what do I have to do to get something going for ourselves here?
Now batting for the Oilers, center fielder number 9, Dylan Ditzenberger.
All right, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. So, Dylan Ditzenberger will step up to the plate here. He also singled in his first at-bat. So 3 straight 2-out singles resulted in a run in the first inning for the Oilers, and they now lead 3-0 on the home run by Garrett Pennington. And that one is just outside for ball 3. So the count moves to 3-1. So after getting ahead in the count, suddenly Cody is falling behind 3-1 here, and that one hits Ditzenberger. So a rough start to the inning for Cody for sure, as another runner will reach base, as this will prompt pitching coach Troy Hervey to step into the booth. Or excuse me, step into the booth. That didn't make sense. Step to the mound. Sorry, I don't know where my mind went there. Maybe I just subconsciously want pitching coach Hervey to come into the booth later. I'm not sure.
Now batting for the Oilers, designated hitter number 21, Bryce Marsh.
All right, so now Bryce Marsh will step up to the plate here, and certainly will hope to keep the inning going for the Oilers. And for the Chinooks, I think now might be the time where you have to sit back and really say, hey, you know what? I've had enough of this. We've lost 4 straight. We got to figure something out here. And the 1-0 is in there for a called strike 1. So Bryce Marsh walked in his first at-bat, so we will see what he can do here. And a move over to first as Ditzenberger gets back safely. For those of you who are fans of other sports, the supporting cast of Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks advanced to the NBA Finals today as they defeated the Atlanta Hawks 118-107. So Trae Young returning was not enough for Atlanta to win at home. So the Milwaukee Bucks will be facing the Phoenix Suns in the NBA Finals, as Game 1 will be on Tuesday. So that is July 6th for those of you who care about that. And that one is driven to deep right field. And that one is gone. So a 2-run home run for Bryce Marsh, as the lead now swells to 5-0 here against the Chinooks. And, man, a rough inning for Carson Cody, certainly, as 4 runs with no outs. And this might be it, and it is. So certainly a rough start for Carson Cody tonight, as 5 runs on 6 hits just is not going to get it done. And I don't think anybody would disagree with me with that statement. But certainly chalk it up to a rough day at the ballpark for Carson Cody, and certainly we will monitor to see if he can bounce back in his next outing, but certainly not a great day for him today. So that'll bring JoJo Penberthy into the game, and certainly it is a bit earlier than we have normally seen him this year, so we will see if he can chew up some innings for the Chinooks here in the 3rd.
This Chinooks call to the bullpen is powered by Shop 180. Now pitching for the Chinooks, a 6'3" sophomore right-hander from the Masters University, number 30, JoJo Penberthy.
I've always liked to play with fire.
Now batting for the Oilers, catcher number 10, Taylor Johnson.
All right, so now JoJo Penberthy will look to get some momentum back for the Chinooks, at the very least, get them back in the dugout as quickly as he can. So that's a good start there for him, as that is strike 1. And that one just misses. So count moves to 1-1.
No, it's not. This is the Oilers. Yes, it's a different team.
And that one is swung on and fouled off down the left field line.
That foul ball brought to you by Ken McCarthy and Discovery Cove Recovery and Wellness Center.
So certainly we looked to have Troy Hervey in the studio today, just couldn't fit it in, as we had other interviews that we wanted to accommodate. We wanted to come in here in the first inning today, but obviously we couldn't get that to happen. So hopefully we'll have him in here tomorrow. But I feel like having him in here in the interview might not have been the best, considering how this has shaped up so far, as that one's tapped over to second. And Cal Campbell will fire on to first base for the first out of the inning. So good start for JoJo Penberthy, as he looks to,
now batting for the Oilers,
at the
right
very
fielder
least,
number 22, Andrew Soika.
just get the Chinooks back in the dugout and give their bats a chance to get something done here. So that one's fouled off for strike 1. So for those of you who are fans of baseball, the Athletics just walked it off on the Red Sox, as the Red Sox took a 6-4 lead in the top of the 11th inning, but the Athletics respond with 3 more of their own in the bottom half, so they walk away victors. So certainly a couple of great ball games for the Athletics and Red Sox back-to-back. Certainly 2 really good teams battling it out. And I wish that we could have had a chance to watch those games, as certainly they seemed like a lot of fun for sure. So the 0-2 pitch to Soika is in there for strike 3. Great pitch from Penberthy as he gets Soika looking for out number 2.
Now batting for the Oilers, first baseman number 6, Henry Nowicki.
So this will bring up Henry Nowicki with 2 outs here in the 3rd. That one is swung on and ripped down the left field line, and that's going to drop and get to the wall. So Henry Nowicki will turn and head to second. So another hard hit ball for the Oilers, as hard hit balls have come in druthers today, as they have a 2-out base runner on the double from
now
Henry
batting for the
Nowicki.
Oilers,
So
third baseman number 14,
this will bring up
Cole
Cole Moore, who doubled in his last at-bat, which was in the 2nd inning. So already his 3rd at-bat of the day in 3 innings, and whenever that happens, it certainly just is not a good day for the pitching staff. And the first pitch to him is in there for a called strike 1. JoJo Penberthy certainly throwing a lot of strikes so far, and that's a great sign for him. But so far, whatever the Chinooks have thrown, the Oilers have hit. The 0-1. Outside for ball 1. Certainly, it's kind of tough to tell if there's a combination of factors or one factor that's kind of causing a lot of other things to happen for the pitchers, at least from this angle, as that one is tapped over to Sheck at first, and he will take that to the bag himself for out number 3. So the Oilers strike for 4 runs in the top of the third on the back of 2 home runs.
No errors, 1 man left to board.
And so the Chinooks will head to the bottom of the 3rd inning, trailing 5-0. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube as the Chinooks trail 5-0 early here on the back of a couple of home runs for the Oilers in the last inning, one by Garrett Pennington and the other by Bryce Marsh, as Cal Campbell will look to get something going for the Chinooks here against Mason Posey, who able to get out of a bases-loaded jam in the last inning. And the 1-1 is in there for a called strike 2. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us here tonight. As again, certainly we know that you have a lot of options of things you could be doing right now, and so we appreciate you guys for spending some time with us. As the 2-2 pitch to Campbell is outside, so he looks to get on base as the Chinooks, I believe, had 3 walks in the last inning and could not capitalize. And that one is just inside. Good at-bat from Campbell as he works the count and is able to work a walk. So the 4th walk so far for Posey. But he has not come back to hurt him yet. As so far, he, at least in some ways, has been effectively wild so far. Even though 4 walks might be pushing that a little bit, as that one's downstairs for ball 1. So Will Batts struck out in his first at-bat. Will look to bounce back, get something going for the Chinooks, as that one is ripped up the middle, and a great play. And wow! And certainly you saw the hesitation from the shortstop, Antonsen. Maybe wanted to step on the bag, maybe wanted to flip it, decides to take it himself, and it works out. That is a double play, and that certainly is a tough turn, as Will Batts can certainly fly around the bases, but they are able to get it, as John Mark Mullins now will step up to the plate with 2 outs. And the first pitch to him is upstairs for ball 1. And certainly just another stroke of bad luck for the Chinooks, as it seems like every ball that they have hit hard over the last few days has just been right at people. And the 2-0 outside for ball 3. So the count is 3-0 to John Mark, and the 3-0 is in there for a called strike 1. I'd like to wish all of you a happy 4th of July. Obviously, I know that is not today, but we will not be streaming tomorrow, so I wanted to wish you all a happy 4th of July while I had the chance. And I certainly hope that you guys are able to spend some time with your family and other loved ones on very, very important and special day in the history of America, as that one is ripped up the middle, fielded, and thrown on to first base for the 3rd out of the inning. So despite the leadoff walk, 1, 2, 3, go the Chinooks, as they will head to the top of the 4th inning, trailing 5-0.
Leading off the top of the 4th for the Oilers, shortstop number 24, Trevor Antonsen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube, as Trevor Antonsen will step up to the plate and lead things off for the Chinooks, as JoJo Penberthy looks to continue and work his 2nd inning, as he pitched pretty well in the last inning, certainly able to get out of a pretty rough situation and get the Chinooks back in the dugout, which is all you can ask at that juncture. And so now I'm joined by a very, very special guest, as Paddy McKermitt has decided to join us here in the studio, as that one is flown out to straightaway left, as Hayden Keller moves underneath it to make the catch for out number 1. So, Paddy, let's call this your 2nd half and 1.5 interviews today. Because kind of brought you in, I think it was maybe a week ago, 10 days ago, whatever it was, in a double interview. So I'm glad to have you back in here solo today. So how you doing, man?
Oh, it's great to be here. It's always a good day. I get to be here with Aaron and T-Lopes.
There you go.
Great day.
All right. Well, thank you again for taking some time and joining us. So first question I have for you. On a game that has gotten off to as rough a start for you guys as this one, and obviously you're not playing today, does that kind of does it do anything different for you when you're on the bench and a game like this happens versus when you're out there playing and a game like this starts to happen?
Well, definitely trying to support the guys, especially on the bench. It's hard. There's a ground ball to third by Pate.
And that one sails over the head of Sheck. And so John Olmstead will reach base on the throwing error by Pate Fullerton.
But yeah, I wish I could be out there supporting. You feel closer to the pitcher in the middle infield at second or short. You feel like you can give some words of encouragement when you're cheering on from the dugout. You're there for them, but it doesn't feel the same as if you're right there, able to pick them up right by the mound there. It's a little different, but I'm still supporting. And that's how it is.
Absolutely. So I believe we mentioned this last interview, but just in case we either didn't or those who are on the stream were not there or don't remember, you are a returner, so you have been through this whole shebang before. So what have you been able to take away from this trip that has been different than your previous trips here? Whether that's Randall's cooking or whether that's something on or off the field. What have you been able to take away so far?
Well, so far the cooking has been elite, just per usual. Last year was unbelievable, and he's hasn't lost a beat there, and that's been really cool. I was able to meet Crandall's grandkids, and I've been playing quite a bit of catch with them at the house, so that's something new that I get the opportunity to do, and they're great kids, and yeah.
Is that why you're not starting today? Your arm's a little sore playing catch, maybe?
I don't know about that, but definitely I'm ready to go if they need me.
There you go, absolutely. So, do you think that, obviously since you've done this a few times, one thing that you have done that obviously none of us have done is the whole discipleship thing. And I don't know what the deal is, if it changes from year to year. So has there been anything, obviously you probably have learned some new stuff, clearly, because there's always some new things to learn as it pertains to God. But has there been anything that you kind of have heard repeated this year that you've heard in previous years that's really stuck with you so far?
Yeah, definitely the spiritual disciplines are something that we've talked about in the previous years. The booklet we get from Athletes in Action is the same, but the curriculum's very similar, but just the different discussions are why I love coming back, because no discussion is the same, even though topics are similar. When you have different guys, your discussion leads in different ways. There's a ground ball to John Mark. Good play right there. Throw to Pate.
That's a great read from John Mark.
Great read. Practice those in and out. 6-5 right there.
There you go.
Great execution.
So that will be the second out of the inning. So anyways, Paddy, go ahead.
Well, yeah, just saying, obviously, just with new guys and being able to discuss different things at discipleship, it's really, really fun to engage with these types of guys.
Mm-hmm. So we've had Coach Troy Hervey in here a few times, as that one is ripped down the right field line, and that is a fair ball, and that's going to hop over the fence.
That might save a run.
And that, yes, certainly, Paddy said it. Certainly it appears to, at least so far, have saved a run, as Ditzenberger forced to hold at third base. And so that will be a ground rule double for Bryce Marsh, who hit a home run in his last at-bat. So certainly having himself a good start to the ball game. But anyways, so we've had pitching coach Troy Hervey here a couple of times, and we actually hoped to get him in here today, but it just ended up not working out, as that one runs inside and hits Taylor Johnson. So he will take his base, so the bases will be loaded here. And one thing that the people at home might not know is that obviously, he was here at the same time as you were in your last time here, and you guys became very good friends, obviously, and clearly you stayed in touch, and you're still very close. So, what about him has changed over the last 2 years since you have been here before?
Well, not much. He's just a great guy. Ever since I met him 2 years ago, he's been a role model to me, and just the maturity factor and how well he treated me, and getting to be his roommate freshman year, and then coming back, we haven't missed a beat. He's been such a great guy to just talk to, and just a great role model for me throughout the time I've known him, and he's really been a light in my life, and I'm just glad to be able to room with him again, and we get to make memories together. And there's a ground ball to Cal. Great play.
Play from Campbell.
There it is.
And that will end the inning. And so, Patty, I'm not sure what your schedule is, but do you think you can hang out for another half an inning or so?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. So we will be right back with a little bit more from Paddy McKermitt as the Chinooks will head to the bottom of the 4th inning, still trailing 5-0.
Leading off the bottom of the 4th for the Chinooks, a junior designated hitter from Gardner Webb, number 8.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube as Joe Brazil will grab a bat and lead things off for the Chinooks as they hope to get anything going here in the bottom of the 4th as they trail 5-0. And that one is in there for a called strike. So I'm still joined by Paddy McKermitt, the second baseman for the Chinooks. So, Paddy, again, thank you so much for joining us here in the booth today.
No problem. I'm happy to be here.
And that one is also in there for a called strike. So, obviously, you guys started off the year just blazing hot. You guys were in first place not too long ago. And recently, it's been a little bit of troubled waters, we'll put it that way, as Joe Brazil goes down swinging for the first out. So what is the mentality right now, or I guess what is the feeling in the dugout right now? Has it kind of changed over the last week or so since you guys have been struggling a little bit, or is it still kind of the same as it was?
I'd say it's pretty much the same. A lot of guys, we're not trying to press or anything like that. It's something. Obviously, tough games happen, and just getting the offense going is something we're trying to do as a group. We had a hitters meeting today. There's a ground ball from Hayden, the first, out number 2. But yeah, just as a group of hitters, we're really trying to band together, and our pitchers are still doing a great job keeping us in games. Yesterday they kept us close, and we just couldn't generate the offense we needed. But I'd say the morale's the same in the dugout. We're still fighting. We're just trying to manufacture a little bit more runs to get us in more ball games, I'd say.
Gotcha. Certainly. So how good is it to have Josh back in the lineup? Certainly, I know you guys only had him in game for, like five games before he stepped down. So I'm not sure how much of a chance you really got or how much of a chance you had to kind of watch how he works and see what impact he could make. So how good is it to have him back?
Oh, it's great. He's in my BP group, so I get to see him swing every day right next to him pretty much, because just to watch him from the left side and the right side. There's a fly ball. Hopefully.
And a dive, and he makes the catch. And, man, what a catch from Garrett Pennington. He's doing a little bit of everything today. And that will be out number 3. So, anyways, Paddy, go ahead and finish up what you were saying.
Just saying, it's great to watch Shaq work. He's a natural athlete and from the right and left side. He's really good guy to hit with, and yeah, that's all I got to say about him.
All right. Well, Paddy, I don't want to keep you because I'm sure, at some point, it's going to start getting to that time where you might be having to go in for a pinch runner or a defensive replacement or a pinch hitter. So I will let you get out of here. But is there anything that you'd like to say to the lovely people on the stream before you head out?
Oh, just everyone, go Chinooks. Great to be here and talk, and hope you guys enjoy the game. And Mom, if you're watching, thanks for watching. And Aunt Rose and Nicolette, too. If you guys are all watching, thanks for tuning in.
All right, Paddy, thank you so much, and I hope to have you back in here soon, buddy.
All right, sounds good.
Our second winning red ticket number is ticket 790-743. Second winning red ticket number is ticket 790-743. Take your ticket to the Chinook shop and claim your prize from Tinker's Deli. Leading off the top of the 5th for the Oilers, right fielder number 22, Andrew Soika.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube as Henry Nowicki takes a big swing and flies out to Will Batts in center for the first out of the inning. And that will bring up Cole Moore, who so far is 1 for 3 in today's match. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so no, that is Henry Nowicki. So apparently I have scored this wrong somehow. Trying to find my mistake. Huh. Well, I'm not sure how that happened, but all right. So that will be a ground out to...
Now batting for the Oilers, third baseman number 14, Cole Moore.
Cal Campbell at second base. That'll be the second out of the inning. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not exactly sure where I went wrong here. All right, I see where I went wrong. So, all right, no worries. I will fix that as soon as I can. As JoJo Penberthy goes up 0-2 on on Cole Moore. Again, I'm still a little messed up here. So I'll fix all that in between innings. So I do apologize for that kind of just be sitting there trying to figure it out. But I apparently either skipped over somebody or just put the wrong thing at some point in the fourth inning. So I will fix all that. That one is tapped straight back towards our dugout, as you will see a ball fly on the camera, and like right now or a little bit before I said that, and there it is. As we watch it back on the replay on our screen over here. And the 1-2. Swung on and foul tipped right into the catcher's mitt for out number 3. So a good inning for Penberthy, as he certainly pitched well. As the Chinooks will head to the bottom of the 5th, still trailing 5-0. Okay, can you...
The Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks would like to thank tonight's game sponsor, the Alaska Highway Safety Office, reminding you that the seatbelt is the biggest assist your car can give you. Be a team player, wear your seatbelts, and arrive alive. This message brought to you by the Alaska Highway Safety Office, proud sponsor of Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks baseball. Leading off the bottom of the fifth for the Chinooks, a sophomore third baseman for the University of Alabama.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube as Paige Fullerton step up to the plate as the Chinooks are still looking for their first hit in this one. And so just to clarify what happened last inning, I accidentally wrote basically two versions of the fielder's choice that happened, as we're going to have to fix our camera again. So just bear with us here. Basically I wrote two different versions of a fielder's choice for two different batters, but it was the same fielder's choice. So I'm not sure what happened there. I guess I just had a brain malfunction. But we fixed it in our stats, and I will try my best to read the illegible schlup that is on my sheet for the rest of the game. So I do apologize for that if that ends up messing up the broadcast a little bit. But anyways, thank you all for your patience and your kindness and your love. So thank you. So Paige Fullerton down 1-2 here after a couple of foul balls, and that is a great curveball there from Mason Posey, and that one is in there for strike three as Fullerton goes down looking for the first out of the inning.
Freshman right fielder from Doane University, number 9, Justin Nevels.
So that will bring in Justin Nevels, who walked in his first at-bat, and again, he will look to get something going against Posey, who has looked fantastic so far, as that one swung on and missed for strike one.
You got it, kiddo. Here we go. That's it.
So the count remains 0-2 here. And that one is swung on and missed, and that'll get by the catcher, and he throws on to first, and Nevels will be safe. So Justin Nevels strikes out, but he will reach first. And certainly a big break there.
Now batting for the Chinooks, a redshirt freshman catcher from Northwood University, number 17, Matt Magno.
So Matt Magno will step up to the plate here as he will look to bounce back after grounding into a double play his first at-bat. And the first pitch to him is in there for a called strike one. And that pitch is tapped over to second. And they're going to try and turn two, and a skip over there at first. Good scoop there, but Magno beats it out. And so Nevels is retired for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring Cal Campbell up to the plate, who also walked in his first at-bat. And that one is ripped down the left field line, and that is a foul ball! Oh, man, and you know darn well that the Chinooks wanted that one at this point. They have struggled so much at the plate. You know they wanted that one. And certainly I can't tell here in the booth if it was fair or foul. Certainly it was close. And the umpire says foul ball, so the count is 0-1. And the 0-1 is just outside. So the count moves to 1-1. That one is ripped up the middle, and the throw on to first will not be in time, so that will be an infield single. So didn't get the possible double on that foul ball, but was able to reach on a single.
Now batting for the Chinooks, a junior center fielder from the Masters University, Will Batts.
And that will be the first hit of the ball game for the Chinooks. So certainly a great job by Cal Campbell there, as Will Batts will step up to the plate with a chance to get something going, chance to get them on the board here. As certainly these fans are hungry for some offense for the Chinooks. And the 1-0 is swung on and tapped into right field for a base hit, and they are going to hold Magno at third base. So Will Batts with a single. And that will load the bases for who has been arguably the best hitter for the Chinooks so far this season in John Mark Mullins.
Number 15, John Mark Mullins.
That one is swung on and fouled off.
That foul ball brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Jeff Hankel.
So the count moves to 1-1 for John Mark Mullins. That one is tapped over to short, and he will throw on to first for out number 3. So once again, the Chinooks load the bases but cannot capitalize. And so we will head to the top of the 6th inning with the Chinooks still trailing 5-0.
The Chinooks 0. Fans, be sure to join us on Monday for the 3rd game of this 5-game homestand where the Anchorage Bucks return to Lee Jordan Field. Monday, July 5th is brought to you by Jalapenos Mexican Restaurant. Off the top of the 6th.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube as Trevor Antonsen leads things off for the Oilers. And JoJo Penberthy back out there as he's certainly done a great job of keeping the Oiler bats at bay, as I do believe this is his 4th inning of work so far. And Antonsen has really been one of the only guys that has not joined in the hit parade. And he will not join in this one either, as JoJo Penberthy will take that one himself for the first out of the inning. And now John Olmstead will step up to the plate. He's 2 for 3, did reach on an error in his last at-bat, but he's, again, 2 for 3, singled and scored, and doubled and scored. So has had a pretty good day at the plate so far, and we'll look to add to that. And that one is in there for a called strike 1. And the 0-1 is also in there for a called strike 2. So Penberthy quickly ahead here. And he has certainly pounded the strike zone so far. And given the situation that he has been put in, certainly it's exactly what you need. And that one is swung on and flown in the air out to center field. And Will Batts will make the catch for out number 2. So Garrett Pennington now will step up to the plate. He's also 2 for 3 with a big 2-run home run in the top of the 3rd. That really opened things up for the Oilers. Nobody on in this at-bat for him. And the first pitch to Pennington is way outside for ball 1. And a good off-speed pitch from Penberthy as that one is swung on and missed for strike 1. And that one is just inside for ball 2. Good pitch from Penberthy, but did not catch the plate. So the count moves to 2-1. And that one is swung on and missed. Good pitch from Penberthy that time, certainly. And that one is strike 2. So the count moves to 2-2 on Garrett Pennington. And the 2-2 is swung on and fouled straight back. And the next 2-2 is swung on and tapped down the third base line and foul. And another 2-2 is outside for ball 3. So Pennington working pretty good at bat here. As the count moves full. And that one is swung on and ripped down the left field line and foul. And that one is tapped foul as well. So a really good at bat here from Pennington as he's trying to keep this inning going. Certainly making JoJo Penberthy work for it. Throw a lot of pitches. And the 3-2 is again fouled straight back. My goodness, what an at bat from Pennington. I believe this will be pitch number 11 of the at bat. And indeed, pitch number 11 is the one that wins it for Pennington, as that one is upstairs for ball 4. And that is about as good of an at-bat as you're going to see, folks. So a great at-bat for Garrett Pennington as he's on first, as Dylan Ditzenberger will step up to the plate here as he is 2 for 2 with a hit by pitch today. So he has certainly played a big part in the offense for the Oilers today. And a move over to first base as Pennington gets back safely. And the 1-0 is in there for a called strike one. And another move over to first. Pennington gets back safely. And that one is tapped over to Josh Sheck at first, who steps on the bag himself for out number 3. So the Chinooks are able to work around the 2-out walk as they will head to the bottom of the 6th inning with the Chinooks trailing 5-0.
Leading off the bottom of the 6th for the Chinooks, the junior designated hitter from Gardner-Webb, number 8, Joe Brazil.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube, as Joe Brazil will lead things off for the Chinooks, as that one is swung on and fouled off for strike one. So the count moves to 1-1 here on Joe Brazil as he looks to get something going for the Chinooks. As last inning, they stranded the bases loaded once again. And the Oilers have elected to leave Mason Posey in, and quite frankly, I cannot blame them as he has pitched very, very well so far. So just a little bit of news for everybody, just a little personal stuff going on in my life, or a little, not necessarily my life, but a little personal to me, as hang on, we might have to hang on that one, and that one is drilled to left field, and that is gone! And Joe Brazil with a solo home run here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and the Chinooks now trail 5-1. And finally, after a few games of really struggling at the plate, Joe Brazil gets a hold of one. And so now the Chinooks have cut the lead to 4. And a big swing, and certainly something that the Chinooks needed for energy, for momentum, certainly something that the whole team needed. And Joe Brazil delivers here to lead off the bottom of the 6th.
Left fielder from Northwest Nazarene, number 12, Hayden Keller.
And a good pitch from Posey, but that one's just outside for ball 1. So anyways, what I was saying was something going on, and it's a little more personal to me. That one's tapped out to first. Or excuse me, to second base, and he will throw on to first for the first out of the inning. So there's a young man that I would help mentor and hang out with when I was in high school. He was, in his early teen years, and what I mean by that is, he was 10, 11, 12 years old. He was the brother of a young lady named Anna Marie, who was in my class in high school. He was a baseball player, and he certainly loved to come and watch the games and hang out. And so I would just kind of hang out with him, and he'd come to my house. We played video games, so it was a lot of fun. And I just wanted to. The reason I'm telling you all that is because just to show you how old I'm getting. He actually is a sophomore in high school right now. His team just got done playing in the state tournament in Florida, and he actually either today or yesterday just committed to Florida State University to play baseball as a sophomore in high school, which certainly is an unbelievable achievement. And so Alex Kenzel is his name. If you or your family for some reason ever watch this, buddy, I just want to let you know how proud of you I am, that I miss you. And I hope I get to see you soon. I hope we get to chat it up someday and talk about how our lives have changed since you and I have gone our separate ways, obviously with me leaving for college and everything. And so, buddy, I'm so proud of you. And I really, really hope that you get all the success that you're looking for. And I can't imagine how proud your family is of you and how proud everybody is of you. So I'm just super happy for you, buddy. One thing I will say, as Paige Fullerton's able to beat that one out, and that will be scored an infield single. So with 2 outs, that'll bring Justin Nevels to the plate. So anyways, one thing I will say to you, buddy, if you ever do watch this, just make sure that no matter what you do, no matter what happens with your baseball career, whether you are incredibly successful, whether you are just kind of a journeyman that just ends up staying for 4 years and having a decent career and that's it, or whether it gets cut short for whatever reason, no matter what happens, just always remember that the most important thing is how you treat people. And no matter what you do in life, whether it's baseball, whether it's being an architect, whether it's being an accountant, whether it's being a play-by-play guy, no matter what you do, the most important thing is how you treat other people. Never forget the people that helped you along your journey and the people who will continue to help you along your journey. So certainly, again, that would be my advice to you, is no matter what, the most important thing is to treat people well. So, anyways, back to the ball game as Justin Neville swings and misses for out number 3. So the Chinooks get one on a solo home run from Joe Brazil, and now the Chinooks will head to the top of the 7th, only trailing 5-1.
Fans, at this time, the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks invite their Booster Club members to take out their white tickets. So at this time, will our Booster Club members take out their white tickets? Winning white ticket number this evening is ticket 5459762. Our winning white ticket number this evening is ticket 5459762. Take your ticket to the Chinook Shack to claim your prize from Eagle River Nail Time and Spa. And if you have any further interest on how to become a Chinooks Booster Club member, ask for Danielle in the team tent. Leading off the top of the 7th.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube as Bryce Marsh will lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th. Or excuse me, the top of the 7th. I apologize. As JoJo Penberthy back out there for, I believe, his 5th inning of work now. As he certainly has embraced the role of long reliever for sure here in this one. And he has certainly earned it as he has pitched phenomenally out of the pen and has kept the Oiler bats at bay and allowed the Chinooks some time to try and come back in this ball game. And now the 0-2 is in the dirt, or I suppose in the pellets, for ball 1. And Bryce Marsh, who was the person who hit a 2-run home run, or at least one of the 2 people who hit a 2-run home run in the top of the 3rd inning. He is 1 for 1 with a walk and a hit by pitch in this one. So certainly he's had a good day at the plate so far. And that one is just inside for ball 2. And now the 2-2 from Penberthy is in the dirt for ball 3. So the count moves full. And now Marsh has worked the count full, and that will also hit him. So 2 hit by pitches in this game for Marsh. And certainly probably not how he wanted to spend his time, but he's got a home run, so I'm sure he'll take the good with the bad as he will reach base. And now that'll bring up Taylor Johnson, the catcher for today, and it appears that will be it for JoJo Penberthy. And certainly no harm, no foul for JoJo, as he certainly did a fantastic job out of the pen today, as he kept this game somewhat close, as he held the Oilers to no runs in 4 innings, or 4+ innings, I should say. So an amazing game for him. So we will certainly give him his props, as Nate Hemrick will take over here in the top of the 7th.
Transition looks called to the bullpen is brought to you by Shop 180. Now pitching for the Chinooks, a 6'4" sophomore right-hander out of Earlham College in the Crossroads of America, Kokomo, Indiana, number 32, Nate Hemrick.
In the darkness of night, not a star was in sight on a highway that leads down below. But Jesus came in and saved us from sin. Hallelujah, I'm ready to go. Hallelujah, I'm ready. Hallelujah, I can hear the voices singing soft and low. Hallelujah, I'm ready. Hallelujah, hallelujah, I'm ready to go. Sinners don't wait before it's too late. He's a wonderful Savior, you know. Well, I fell on my knees and he answered my plea. Hallelujah, I'm ready to go. Hallelujah, I'm ready. Hallelujah, I can hear the voices singing soft and low. Hallelujah, I'm ready. Hallelujah, hallelujah, I'm ready to go. Hallelujah, I'm ready. Hallelujah, I can hear the voices singing soft and low. Hallelujah, I'm ready. Hallelujah, hallelujah, I'm ready to go.
Now batting for the Oilers, catcher number 10, Taylor Johnson.
All right, so Taylor Johnson will step up here with no outs and one on here, in the top of the 7th, as Nate Hemrick will look to keep the lead right where it is. And JoJo Penberthy is responsible for the runner on first. And Johnson drops down a bunt, but he taps that one foul, so the count will move to 0-1. And the 0-1. Swung on and missed. Good pitch from Nate Hemrick. And he has certainly pitched very well this year so far. And the count moves to 0-2. And the 0-2. Swung on and missed. Nate Hemrick blows it right by him for the first out of the inning, and that is the way you come into a ball game. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. As Johnson sits down for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up Andrew Soika, who so far is 0 for 3. And that one is in there for a called strike one. And that one is swung on and driven to deep center field. That one is back at the wall, and it is gone. And Andrew Soika with a 2-run home run. And so now this lead has jumped back up to 7-1. I mean, my goodness. I mean, you talk about a team that is really seeing the baseball well, as that is the 3rd home run for the Oilers today. Man, we have not seen this many home runs at this field so far this year, and the Oilers are certainly seeing the ball well. And so Henry Nowicki shows bunt and pulls back, as that one was outside for ball 1. And I tell you what, just from back here, that did not seem like it was all that bad of a pitch from Hemrick, as it looked like it was pretty much on the outside corner, and Soika just kind of cranked that one. So tough break for Hemrick, and also a tough break for JoJo Penberthy, as that's going to actually go against his earned run average. And the 1-1 is downstairs for ball 2. And that one is in there for a called strike 2. So the count now moves to 2-2 on Henry Nowicki, who is 1 for 3 in this one with a double. And that one is just outside for ball 3. Not a bad pitch from Hemrick, as that one was just a ball, maybe 2 off the plate. So the count moves full. That one's outside. So Hemrick issues a walk to Nowicki here with 1 out in the top of the 7th.
Now batting for the Oilers, third baseman,
and that'll bring up Cole Moore, who is 1 for 4 so far. He doubled in his 2nd at-bat of the day. And, you know, he'd love to repeat that and add to this lead. that one is tapped up the middle and past the diving Cal Campbell for a base hit. So now 2 on and 1 out here in the top of the 7th, as that'll bring up Trevor Antonsen, who has had a tough day so far at the plate. He's been one of the few guys that has not joined the hit parade, and he is the only member of the Oilers who has not gotten on base at some point today. He is 0 for 4. And certainly a tough spot to do it in, as he's in the 2-hole. And first pitch to Antonsen is in there for a called strike 1. That one is swung on and tapped foul. Good off-speed pitch there from Hemrick. And so the count moves to 0-2. And now the 0-2. It gets behind Antonsen, but it hits his bat. So that will be a foul ball, and certainly Antonsen seems like he can't catch a break. And come on, man. You know, first rule of baseball. It's the thing they teach you before anything else. If you're batting and the ball gets thrown behind you, you got to drop your bat. Drop the bat head down. Make sure it doesn't hit the bat. And he must have forgotten that foundational lesson there. Tisk, tisk, tisk. It's just unfortunate. And so the count moves to 0-2. And that one's in the dirt. Good stop from Magno. So the count moves to 1-2. Certainly not a bad 0-2 pitch there, trying to get him to chase. And the 1-2. Just misses. Count moves to 2-2. And a good take from Antonsen. That one looked like it was going to be a strike until the very last second. And the 2-2 is downstairs. So the count is full, as Trevor Antonsen has put together a pretty darn good at-bat here against Nate Hemrick, as Hemrick looks to put him away here with this 3-2 pitch. And that one is grounded into left field for a base hit. And they are going to hold Nowicki at third as that throw comes into the plate. So now the bases will be loaded as Antonsen gets his first hit of the day. So the base is loaded now for John Olmstead, who is 2 for 4 so far tonight with 2 runs scored. That one is swung on and fouled straight back. So the count moves to 0-1. So 7 runs on 11 hits so far for the Oilers as they hope to add on to that here, and a good slider there from Nate Hemrick as Olmsted swings through that one for strike 2. So Hemrick 1 strike away from getting out of this bases loaded jam, or at least 1 ground ball away from getting out of this bases loaded jam. I should clarify. And that one is in the dirt. And the 1-2. Swung on and ripped into right field for a base hit. And they are going to hold Cole Moore at third base, but that will bring home 1 run. So now the score moves to 8-1. And that is the 3rd base hit in a row for the Oilers as they continue to just hit the heck out of the baseball here, and I do not believe that they have 13 runs. Just gonna point that out, as I do believe the score is 8-1, and it is. So 12 hits so far for the Oilers, and they don't seem done yet, as that one is in there for a called strike. Now Garrett Pennington, who hit a home run in the 3rd inning, is 2 for 3 with a walk. And I'm sure he would love to get one into the gap and get these runners home. And the 0-1 from Hemrick is swung on and hit into center field. And Will Batts will slide and make the catch for out number 2. But that will bring in another run, so that'll be a sacrifice fly for Garrett Pennington, as Cole Moore will come across the score, and that will bring this lead to 9-1. And it looks like the Chinooks are going to appeal here. Just make sure that Trevor Antonsen did not leave early. Well, maybe they are not. So we will see if they do that. And it does not look like they are going to. Okay then, and that one is ripped into right field, and that's going to drop in front of Justin Nevels for a base hit. So another run will score as John Olmsted will race around to third base. And now the lead swells to 10-1.
Now batting for the Oilers, designated hitter number 21.
And man, the Oilers are just putting an absolute hurting on the Chinooks. And unfortunately, the Oilers scored, I believe, only 2 runs in their last 2 games. And tonight has been their coming out party on offense. And certainly you kind of wished that to be the case for the Chinooks. But they certainly have not, just not looked the part tonight so far. And that pitch is in there for a called strike 1. So Bryce Marsh, now with his second at-bat of the inning, was hit with another pitch, as he is 1 for 1 with a home run, 2 hit by pitches and a walk. So he has certainly done his job getting on base in the 6th hole tonight. That one is swung on and fouled off for strike 2. And the 0-2 is downstairs as Dylan Ditzenberger steals second. And a 10-1 ball game. So you can think of that what you will. So the count moves to 1-2 here on Bryce Marsh. And the 1-2 is swung on and ripped down the right field line, but that will leak foul. And the 1-2 again. Swung on and ripped down the line, but foul. As Bryce Marsh continues to battle here against Nate Hemrick. And Nate Hemrick just looking to get the Chinooks back in the dugout at this point, as 5 runs have already come across the plate in this inning alone. So we do it again here on 1 and 2. That one is tapped over to Cal Campbell at second, who throws on to first for the 3rd out of the inning. But certainly the damage has been done as the Oilers strike for 5 in this inning, as they will now have a commanding 10-1 lead as we head to the bottom of the 7th.
And 2 left to board. Midway through 7th score, the Oilers 10, the Chinooks 1. All right, fans, it's time for our 7th inning stretch. And joining us in the press box for our Take Me Out to the Ballgame rendition, 2 members of the Chinooks media team. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, and it's root for the Chinooks. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. One of the finer renditions of our Take Me Out to the Ball Game, brought to you by Chinooks voice Tyler Lopes. Leading off the bottom of the 7th for the Chinooks, the redshirt freshman catcher from Northwood University, number 17, Matt Magno.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube, as Matt Magno will step up and lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th. And certainly the Chinooks have a good amount of work to do if they're going to come back in this one, as they trail 10-1 here with not very much time left. And the 0-2. Swung on and tapped over to second base, as that will be caught. So Matt Magno with the line out to open up this inning. And that'll bring Cal Campbell to the plate here.
Now battling for the Chinooks, a freshman second baseman from Stephen F. Austin, number 20, Cal
So
Campbell.
Mason Posey still in the game, and certainly he's earned it, as he has pitched very, very well. And with this comfortable of a lead, if he's looking to get stretched out, this is probably the best game to do it, as Cal Campbell with another base hit. And I'll tell you what, Cal has certainly had himself a great ball game. He's 2 for 2 with a walk. Certainly done a nice job out of the 9-hole for the Chinooks, as that'll bring Will Batts to the plate.
Center fielder from the Masters University, number 10, Will Batts.
All right, so after the quick mound visit, Will Batts will step up to the plate. Look to keep this inning going for the Chinooks, as that one's in there for a called strike. And again, as I said, Mason Posey certainly pitched a pretty good game so far. And with the lead that his team has given him, certainly not the worst idea to keep him out there, let him get some work. And certainly in scenarios like this, it's pretty much up to the individual and up to the coaching staff to kind of decide where to go. It's certainly, you see see a lot of times where in games like this, a team will take their starter out, not wanting to waste an arm, as that one is tapped over to third, and might be a tough play with Bats' speed, and it is. And Cal Campbell will move over to third. So kind of a makeshift hit and run there, and a little bit unorthodox, but it works. As Will Batts will be aboard with an infield single, as Cal Campbell will move over to third. And so now with runners on the corners, John Mark Mullins will step up to the plate here. He's 0 for 3 so far and will look to get something here. So anyways, you'll see a lot of times in games like this, a team take out their starter, just not wanting to waste his arm. But oftentimes, also, you will see them leave the starter in for perhaps a little bit longer than they otherwise would if the game was a little bit closer. Just because they want to make sure the guy gets stretched out, get some work, maybe get out of a couple of jams if they have to. And that one is hit out to left center field, and that will be brought in left field. And Cal Campbell will slide home. So a sacrifice fly for John Mark Mullins will bring Cal Campbell home, and so the lead now shrinks to 10-2.
Now batting for the Chinooks, a junior designated hitter from Gardner West.
So certainly the Oilers electing to keep their starter in and get him a little bit more work. So now Joe Brazil, who homered in his last at-bat, certainly looked to keep his streak going as that one is swung on and missed. That one is swung on and hit very hard out to left center field. The center fielder will drift over and make the catch in the alley for out number 3. So the Chinooks strike for 1 here in the bottom of the 7th, but they're going to have to do a little bit more as we head to the top of the 8th as the Oilers still lead 10-2.
Fans, at this time, if you will take out your blue split the pot tickets, we have our winning ticket number. Our winning split the pot ticket number this evening is ticket 619847. Winning ticket number is 619847. Take your tickets behind the press box. The pot tonight sits at $113.50. This Chinooks call to the bullpen is brought to you by Shop 180. Now pitching for the Chinooks is 6'1" right-hander and commit to the University of Science and Arts in Oklahoma, number 31, Josh Harrell. Fans, the Chinooks would also like to mention that from now to the end of the game, it is half off on burgers and hot dogs. Once again, half off on burgers and hot dogs from now until the end of the game. Fans, your attention, please. Now pinch hitting for the Oilers and of Centralia College, number 23, Grant Ruzma.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network as Josh Harrell will take over here in the 8th, facing Grant Ruzma. And that one is tapped toward the hole as Sheck moves over to his right, makes a nice play, flips over to the covering Josh Harrell for the first out of the inning. So Grant Rusma, pinch hitting for Taylor Johnson, is retired for the first out of the inning. So now Andrew Soika, the right fielder, will swing it here. He homered in his last at-bat. And it was the third homer of the day for the Oilers. Certainly have done a good job of hitting the ball in this one. 10 runs on 13 hits shows that pretty well, I'd say. And the 0-1, or excuse me, the 1-0 is swung on and fouled off. So the Chinooks certainly in danger here of losing their 5th straight game, as that one is a big swing from Soika, and he just foul tips it. And I think he, as we would say in Tennessee, he wanted to hit that one to Georgia. And I think he also wanted to hit that one to Georgia, although it'd be a lot more difficult from here. And that one is swung on and missed, so Soika strikes out swinging, as that'll be the second out of the inning. So now there will be a pinch hitter. So now Ben Grunberg will swing it here for Henry Nowicki. And that one is swung on and popped high in the air and foul.
That foul ball brought to you by JR Septic Pumping and Excavation.
And the 0-1 swung on and missed. Good pitch there from Harrell as Grunberg fishes at that one for strike 2. And that 0-2 pitch is downstairs. So count moves to 1-2 as Harrell looks to get the Chinooks back in the dugout, give their offense a chance to do something in the bottom of the 8th. And that one is check swung, but clearly did not go around as that gets past Magno for the second ball. So the count moves to 2-2. And another 2-2. Swung on and driven deep down the left field line. Will it have the distance? It will not, as Hayden Keller moves to the wall, and he will make the catch for the third out of the inning. So a close call there for the Chinooks, but it just ends up being a harmless fly ball. So the Chinooks will head to the bottom of the 8th as they trail 10-2.
Midway through 8, or score the Oilers 10, the Chinooks 2. Fans, your attention, please. Now pitching for the Oilers, the 6'2" freshman left-hander out of Centralia College, number 1, Nolan Patterson.
Used to chase that boy home from school. Called him freckled face, red-headed fool.
Fans, your attention, please. Defensive changes for the Oilers at first base. From Alaska, number 20, Tanner Using. Catching behind the plate, Grant Rusma.
One day heard it say, one of these days you're gonna love me. You'll sit down by yourself and think.
Leading off the bottom of the 8 for the Chinooks, a senior left fielder from Northwest Nazarene, number 12, Hayden Keller.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube as Hayden Keller will step up to the plate here. And he is facing a new pitcher in Nolan Patterson. So Patterson taking over for Mason Posey, who threw 7 really good innings for the Oilers. Certainly plenty enough to win this ball game. So Hayden Keller is 0 for 2 with a walk in this one. Although he's up 2-0 here, but he taps that one out to second. And he'll throw on to first for out number 1. And that'll bring Josh Sheck up to the plate. He is 0 for 2 with a walk in his return to the lineup tonight, although he has certainly looked really good on defense tonight.
First baseman from UC Irvine, number 35, Josh Sheck.
And the first pitch to Sheck comes in and hits him. So Sheck will take his base. And so the Chinooks will have a runner on here in the bottom of the 8th, and that'll bring Pate Fullerton up to the plate, who singled in his last at-bat. It was an infield single. Mr. Rhines, certainly nice to meet you last night as well. It was good to put a face to the name. And I will do my best to keep the energy going, even in nights like this. And that pitch is in there for a called strike 1. And that one is also in there for a called strike. So the count moves to 0-2. And the 0-2 to Fullerton is swung on and lined over to to shortstop. And caught over there by Trevor Antonson, And so Fullerton is retired for the second out of the inning, and that'll bring up Justin Nevels, who is 0 for 2 with a walk, 2 strikeouts in this one. So let's see what Rocco can do here, as that one is in there for a called strike 1. Certainly he would love to keep this inning going, as it'll be tough sledding trying to come back from down 8 in 1 inning. And that one is swung on and missed. Good pitch there from Patterson. So the count moves to 0-2 on Rocco. And the next 0-2 is in there and swung on. And that'll get into left field for a base hit. So Justin Nevels keeps the inning alive. And so with 2 on and 2 out, that will bring Matt Magno to the plate. He's 0 for 3 so far, although he lined out in his last at-bat.
Freshman catcher from Northwood University, number 17, Matt Magno.
And that ball is swung on and hit foul down the right field line. And congratulations to Justin Nevels for his first hit this year in the Alaska Baseball League. Certainly a huge accomplishment for him. So certainly wanted to congratulate him there. And so now Matt Magno down 0-1. And that one is swung on and ripped into right field. And that's going to be by the sliding right fielder, and that's going to get to the wall. Matt Magno chugging down to second base. He's going to turn, and he's going to head for third. 2 runs are going to score, and Matt Magno with a 2-out, 2 RBI triple here in the bottom of the 8th. And I got to tell you, I'm not sure if I would have dove for that if I was the right fielder, but he did. And so that will cost his team a couple of runs. As now Cal Campbell will step up to the plate, and this is the right man to have at the plate right now, as he is 2 for 2 so far tonight. He has certainly looked really, really good at the dish. So now the Chinooks trail 10-4, so they are able to do their job, and they have in the last couple of innings as they've scored now in the last 3 innings, trying to claw their way back in this ball game. And the 0-1 outside. Plenty outside for ball 1. And that one is downstairs for ball 2. So Cal Campbell looking to stay hot, get that run home from third. And that one is also downstairs and possibly a little bit inside. So the count moves to 3-1. So a great count for Campbell, as I'm sure if he gets a fastball, he might go after, but he gets one, and obviously not the one he was looking for. So the count moves full now. As Cal Campbell will look to keep things rolling for the Chinooks. And that one is swung on and ripped into left field for a base hit. And Cal Campbell stays hot with an RBI single. And so the lead is now cut to 5 as the Chinooks still trail 10-5. But certainly they have showed a little bit of life here in the 8th. And now that'll bring Will Batts to the plate. And so now the Chinooks have the top of their lineup going. So certainly if they can keep things rolling here with 2 outs, they have a good shot of climbing even farther back into this ball game. But a tough lefty-lefty matchup for sure, as that one is outside. Good take from Batts. And the 1-0 is in there for a called strike. So the count moves to 1-1. And that one is tapped over to second base, and he will flip on to first for out number 3. So the Chinooks strike for 3 in the bottom of the 8th as they try and work their way back from being down 10-2 in this one. Or excuse me, at one point 10-1. So certainly they have tried. They've worked hard to get back in this one, but they're going to have to work a little bit harder as we're going to head to the top of the 9th with the Chinooks still trailing by 5, 10-5.
Ticket numbers, so please at this time take out your red tickets. Winning ticket number 6, 790676. Winning red ticket number is 790676. Take a red ticket to the Chinook Shack to claim your prize from Hebrews Coffee. This Chinooks call to the bullpen is brought to you by Shop 180. Now pitching for your Chinooks, a 6'3" freshman right-hander out of Biloxi, Mississippi, and the University of Alabama, Birmingham, number 24, Leo Harris.
Steps away from being out of here. Thank you for my granny prayers. Thank you for my pilot down. I thought I was finished, yeah. Jesus told me start again. I will party sundown to day's end. Making money that I can't spend. I had a failing marriage and some fake friends. I had to doubt my doubts and let faith in was broken. God done brought me out like I was Moses. I'm chosen. Woke up Sunday morning feeling focused. Funny acting, swipe left. That's on mama's always capping. Swipe left. No more drama. Boy, you know you blessed. Last night was a mess. God just hit refresh.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube as Leo Harris is taking over on the mound for the Chinooks, and he will face Cole Moore. So Cole Moore with his 6th at-bat of the day coming up, so certainly if that shows you how well the Oilers have been hitting, that certainly is a great illustration. So Leo Harris in the booth early on in this ball game in the 2nd inning. He mentioned that you never really know what you're going to be called upon to do on a given day, at least in his role. And he mentioned he might be here to pitch, and here he is out here in the 9th with the task of just kind of keeping this lead right where it is. So the Chinooks have a good, or at least have a reasonable shot of coming back in the 9th, as just so you guys are aware at home, that did not hit Moore, as that one is tapped foul down the line.
That foul ball brought to you by Northwest Carpet Company.
That one is tapped over to Pate Fullerton at 3rd, who fires on to 1st, and he is safe. And I think Sheck really thought that he was out. But either way, that will be an infield single for Cole Moore here in the 9th. That one is tapped foul, so the count moves to 0-1.
Brought to you by Three Bears, Alaska.
And that one is tapped to Mullins at short, and they will try and turn 2, but it will be unsuccessful, as that will be a fielder's choice.
Now batting for the Oilers, 2nd baseman number 7, John Olmstead.
So this will bring Johnny Olmstead to the plate. He's had a pretty good night at the dish. He's 3 for 5 so far. So, and with a runner on 1st and 1 out, certainly Leo Harris looked to bounce a double play here. And that one is in there for a called strike 1. And that one is swung on and popped high in the air out towards center. Will Batts calling for it, and he will make the catch for out number 2. So 2 outs here, and that'll bring up Garrett Pennington, who has had a pretty darn good ball game so far, as he is 2 for 4. With a 2-run home run and a sac fly, as well as a walk. So certainly has done his part in this one. And that one's downstairs. And the 1-0 is also downstairs. So the count moves to 2-0 on Pennington. 2-0, and I think he was just kind of expecting a straight fastball there. Didn't get it as he checks the swing, but he went. So the count moves to 2-1. And the 2-1 from Harris is outside for ball 3. So a good count for Pennington, as 3-1 count is perfect count for a hitter to do some damage. And the 3-1 is swung on and popped high in the air on the right side of the infield as Cal Campbell drifts back into shallow right field to make the catch for out number 3. So Leo Harris pitches a scoreless top of the 9th, and now it is up to the Chinook offense to get back in this ball game as they will head to the bottom of the 9th, trailing 10-5.
Fans, be sure to join us on Monday for the 3rd game of this 5-game series against the Anchorage Bucks, sponsored by Jalapenos Mexican Restaurants.
Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere.
Leading off the bottom of the 9th for the Chinooks, a sophomore shortstop.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live on the Chinooks Radio Network here on YouTube as Noah Patterson is still out there. Excuse me, Nolan Patterson, I apologize. Nolan Patterson is still out there after giving up 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th. And the perfect guy to lead off here for the Chinooks is John Mark Mullen steps to the plate. Although he is 0 for 3 so far tonight, though he does have a sacrifice fly and an RBI. And the 0-1 is upstairs. And certainly if the Chinooks are going to make any kind of comeback here, they're going to need the leadoff man on. So certainly John Mark will look to do some damage here. And the 1-1 is upstairs. So the next time the Chinooks play will be on Monday, the 5th against the Anchorage Bucks. And that will start a 3-game home stretch for the Chinooks, although I guess they have been on a little bit of a mini home stretch already, but 3 games in a row against 3 different teams. So that should certainly be fun, so be sure to tune in for that. And again, it will be on Monday, July 5th against the Anchorage Bucks at 7 p.m. And so full count here to John Mark. And the 3-2 is swung on and fouled off. Pretty close pitch there. Might have been ball 4, but also might have been strike 3. Certainly too close for comfort, especially at this juncture in the game. So John Mark fouls that one off, so the count remains full. And the 3-2 is downstairs. Good take from Mullins, and so he will draw a walk. And exactly what the doctor ordered for the Chinooks here in the bottom of the 9th with the leadoff runner on, and Joe Brazil coming up to the plate. And he hit a home run in the bottom of the 6th, so you know the Chinooks would absolutely love that. Or at the very least, for Joe to keep the line moving and get himself on base. As that one is swung on and missed. Big swing from Brazil, but he did not get that one. So the count moves to 0-1. And the 0-1 to Brazil is also swung on and fouled off. So the count moves to 0-2 on Brazil. And the 0-2 is swung on and missed. So 3 pitches, 3 swing and misses for Joe Brazil, and he will be the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Hayden Keller, who has had a tough day at the plate as he walked in his first at-bat, but after that, 3 groundouts. So certainly, he'd love to get on base here, keep the line moving for the Chinooks. They are running out of chances. And that pitch is in there for a called strike. And certainly, Hayden Keller would love to hit something hard here, get one into the gap, get some momentum, get some life in that dugout. And that one is popped high in the air and straight back. So that'll get out of play. So the count moves to 0-2 on Hayden Keller as he looks to keep things going for the Chinooks. And the 0-2 is tapped toward the middle. And they tag John Mark Mullins out before he can get to second base. So that will be the second out of the inning. But Hayden Keller able to prevent the double play. So that'll bring Josh Scheck up to the plate. He is 0 for 2, but has walked and been hit by a pitch. So he's gotten on base couple times, and he scored in the 8th. So certainly not a bad return to the lineup for him. He'd love to get something going here, and that one swung on and missed. And the 0-1 swung on and ripped toward the hole, and a diving stop by Antonsen, and he throws on to second, and he is out. What a play by Trevor Antonsen, and that will end our ball game, robbing Josh Scheck of a hit.
That's game, ladies and gentlemen.
And wow, what a play. Certainly got to give him credit. So now the Chinooks have dropped 5 in a row as they lose this one 10-5, and so the Kenai Peninsula Oilers now improve to 7-14 on the season, or excuse me, 6-14 on the season, I do believe. And so now the Chinooks drop to below 500 for the first time this season, I believe, as they move to 10-11 on the season and move to 4th place in the ABL now. So once again, the next time the Chinooks play is on Monday, July 5th. So in 2 days against the Anchorage Bucks, and that will start 3 straight games for the Chinooks. They will all be at home. Monday against the Bucks, Tuesday against the Gold Panners, and Wednesday against the Oilers, so be sure to stick around for those. So I'd like to thank everybody who came in and interviewed today. Eric Nelson, Vice President of Athletes in Action, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us and being a disciple for us, being somebody that has allowed us to learn from him and learn the gospel from him and learn some valuable lessons. Thank you so much to Leo Harris and John Graham. Certainly a lot of fun having them in the studio, and I hope that I can get John in here for a solo interview, and hopefully I can get Leo in here again. It's always fun to be able to chat with those guys. And thank you so much to Paddy McKermitt. Finally got him to come in here on a solo interview. Good to chat with him. Good to get a little bit of insight on his experiences here and on his the way the dugout and everything has been reacting and everything to what's been going on. So certainly very informative and certainly a lot of fun. So thank them again for joining us today. So anyways, from all of us here to all of you at home, I am Tyler Lopes, and I have been joined today by my partner Aaron Davis, and we would like to thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you very soon.